So first, sort of what you mentioned as thin. The thing I've seen elsewhere, for the most part, with independent advisors is note taking,
Yep.
summarizing calls. And with larger institutions, they tend to look out and say, "Wow, I've got a contact center that is with 300 people. Can't I do that with 30?"
Yep.
Cost reduction. We're trying to use it to enhance the advisory service. And it's not that we don't take notes. Yes, we do. But for instance, those notes become available to the AI so that they have, when an advisor is working with a client, there is immediate recollection of everything that's been discussed in the past. Um, the way, so my general view is that AI for these purposes is good, but not perfect. Advisors are good, but not perfect. The combination of the two is better than either one by itself, but still not perfect.
Okay.
We are living in an imperfect world as we have always lived with regard to financial advice.
Right.
But but I believe this is the best of all worlds, at least today, to combine the advisor with AI for the purposes of delivering financial advice. Now, there's some things that you really want to rely on the advisor for rather, or most heavily on the advisor for than the AI. Um, the advisors have access to everything we've built, and I'll describe that in a moment. But there are things that the AI can do better, deeper, and faster than an advisor could do, at least within a reasonable time frame. Um, so two quick examples of how the advisor might use the AI. Um, very simple things like, oh goodness, what are the tax brackets in Idaho? Boom.
Yeah.
What are the rules around penalties on RMDs? Boom. Um, and surely the advisor should know at least in general about RMD penalties, but to have the actual text right in front of it is great. Now those are simple, um, but they're time. It allows you to do more immediately when you are
Right.
conversing. So a better example of sort of the deep improvement. A lot of people we always want as advisors, we want to put them into a financial planning tool and do the 30-year horizon stuff, which is great. But so many people come to us with one specific question in mind, and we want to be able to respond to that. Here's an example that happened just recently. Somebody said, I'm in San Francisco. I'm moving to Austin, or I'm considering moving to Austin for a job. What financial impact will that have? And so we already knew the estimated taxable income. We already knew their physical address. And so, in a matter of a couple of minutes, with using the AI and a series of prompts, we came up with something that was, the taxable impact, both income and property and sales tax and all that, cost of living. Um, we got um, we compared the cost of or the value of their current house with the cost of a similar one in a similar
Yeah.
neighborhood in Austin, put the whole thing together with a bunch of other stuff, bang, in a couple of, far more detailed and valuable.
Yeah.
And then you say, okay, what are those savings? What are they worth over 10 years, compounded and all that? I mean, it was like mind blowing. It would take I don't know, a day for somebody to do that level of detail. And
Right.
so the combination of the deep research power and calculational power of the AI with the judgment and empathy of the advisor, um, to me, that's the best formula we've got, at least for the next couple of years.
Right. Well, okay, then you already introduced the next question, at least for the next couple of years. When you look out at into your crystal ball for beyond the beyond the next couple of years, I I'm what sorts of uh developments with AI and planning do you see? Um,
So that's a question that I don't think anybody's got an answer to, and I certainly don't.
Right.
You could foresee a world where the AI, both in terms of the deep research and the empathetic interaction, the AI might be able to do that uh, as well as a human advisor. I say might. We just don't know.
Okay. Well, and again, I don't want to I don't want to be the skunk at the garden party, but I'm just as a citizen looking at what we see out there about AI's increasing influence in a number of areas outside of planning. And one therapy, when we're talking about therapy done by AI, I mean, whoa,
Hey, hey,
I I have no
I
idea how well that works, but what I do know is it's getting pretty darn close to a big piece of financial planning. It seems to me. So
so I don't know either.
yeah.
And clearly today, I mean, I'm convinced, and I imagine you are as well.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Well, are you good?
Okay, now I can hear you. I missed the last ten seconds. Uh,
Okay. So at least today, um, I'm convinced that the best service model is man and machine.
yeah,
Um, what happens a couple of years from now? I mean, one can speculate, but there are two vectors of speculation. One is that it just gets better and better and has more human-like and reliable qualities. The other is that it just ends up being somewhat uncontrollable.
yeah,
And so, but today, uh, what we view it as a tool. And so we've got a bunch of tools, financial planning tools and the rest, which are deterministic and fixed and limited. And then this is a tool that is flexible and responsive and uh, for anything that veers off the strict path of deterministic tools, um, it's quite impressive the value it can provide.
yeah, yeah. Do, do you have any sense for how you are incorporating AI is different from how I think maybe progressive is not the right word, but those other firms that are trying to stay ahead of the curve regarding AI and other developments. I mean, do you think that what you're doing is well ahead of the curve, or is it just what might be, in your opinion, what the best firms are doing already, sort of thing?
So my view, and I don't really have a good insight into what the best firms are doing,
Yeah.
but my view is that what we're doing is significantly more advanced than most other firms. And so I'll just describe quickly. If you take as the baseline that people are using existing tools, and typically tools that have been around for a long time, who have added some notion of AI capability to it, such as note taking, or um, that's a good example. But there are other examples where, for instance, on a CRM, there
Yeah.
might be an AI capability to do better searches or queries. What we're doing is fundamentally different because rather than try to use AI capabilities that are built in specific tools on an isolated basis, we don't so much use those. We try to bring everything to our own central database and then central set of models
Okay.
so that first of all, we're building them ourselves and that they are integrated and comprehensive. And so, as an example, We make all of the individual information on the client both available to this centralized AI, and that's the traditional things: holdings, balances, transactions. It's also all of the notes or transcriptions of conversations. It's also email communication. So that's the one side, the personally identified information or personal
Yeah.
information. And that's all, we're very, very careful to put that in a private data vault so that it can't be used by the model to train. It's not available to the internet, all the rest. And then we've built some financial knowledge bases, curating them, vetting them, and we've pulled in every IRS publication and bulletins over the past 5 years, et cetera. So we've built our own vetted, curated financial knowledge base. You put
Okay.
those two things together, the personal information plus a vetted financial knowledge base, and we think we're in a better position to give good, at least start with good information.
Yep.
Then the process, it's a multi-model process. So the first model interprets the question and, understands what it is, normalizes it, turns it into much longer prompts, figures out which model it should go to. And sometimes it's a model plus tools. And so then it goes to that second model. The second model then generates an answer, potentially using external tools as well. And then there's a third model that comes back and verifies that the answer is accurate and compliant. And so, again, even with that, can't guarantee that everything's perfect,
Sure.
but we go a long way towards, trying to filter and check.
Makes sense. Two quick questions to wrap up. One, when you think about what you've just described and you think about your fiduciary obligation,
Mhm.
what sorts of things come to mind to you regarding how you're using AI and your fiduciary obligation?
Well, they're the specific things that you need to make sure doesn't happen, right? We need to make sure that the advice is appropriate and accurate. And so, for instance, the first model where we're interpreting the question, there are a bunch of guardrails that we put in as to these are questions we do not answer. This is outside of our area of expertise or knowledge base or whatever. So we simply say, we don't have an answer for that one.
Yeah.
Um, and then, of course, the verification and compliance on the third model. Then I'll turn it around and just say on the positive, I truly believe that this is a way to give better advice. And if what you're talking about is trying to serve the client and think about the best interest of the client, not in the strict fiduciary sense, but rather in the sense of the common sense way of thinking about it, which is, are you helping the client?
Yeah.
Uh, I think it's a huge step up in that. And, again, I'd go back to, there are many step ups, but I would go back to um, the ability to meet the client where they are. What is on their mind? And so our model is not a quarterly meeting where we come back with our PDF and
Yeah.
we do all that stuff. Our model is you come to us when you have a question. And great, what's the question? Let's do it. And from my point of view, that's as big or even bigger a value to the client than putting everybody through the same 5-step model that comes out with the same Monte Carlo and all the rest.
Sure. Sure. Last question. Talking about meeting the client where they are. Where are you? Where are your off? Where's your office? And what?
Um, so Miami,
Okay.
Raleigh, North Carolina,
Yeah.
and Dallas, Texas.
Okay. All right.
And so
Well,
the tech folk tend to be in Miami, the advisors in Raleigh and Dallas.
got you. Well, great. Well, listen, thank you very much for your time. Best of luck with your new firm, and we'll be in touch.
Newt, it's always great to talk with you. And thank you for continuing to wave the flag for the fiduciary standard.
You're welcome. All right.
All right,
Have a good one.
you bet. Bye-bye.